What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the art channel. So I did just finish a new sketchbook, so I thought I would show you guys a sketchbook tour. It's on newsprint. Haven't worked on newsprint in a while, but it's really the best way to go as far as practicing and just warming up. And you know, there's no reason to use expensive paper if you don't have to. Unfortunately, newsprint will not last forever, but that's okay. All you're pretty much doing is practicing. So let's get into this sketchbook tour. It's pretty interesting. It's got some anatomy, it's got some gesture drawings, it's got some, you know, portraits. It definitely started out kind of rough. I was really stressed out in the beginning of this sketchbook the last couple months, but we got some cool drawings. You know, these are just some little rough gesture drawings, just kind of getting some motion and flow. You guys know I love doing that. I have some on the back side, but I'm not going to show every single one of them because it'll just be too time consuming. Most of the ones on the back are not that great. Obviously, really rough start. Gesture is obviously very simple, but it's very complicated at the same time. And yeah, this is just some poses, a little foot there. This is a little design for the breast that a lot of the ateliers use. I do have some issues with it because it almost kind of looks like if you look at it, I drew it from a different angle. And it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, if you put it like that, it looks a little bit too much like something else. So I don't know. I do have some critiques of it, but I kind of like some of these gestures here. These are pretty fun and energetic. Just almost like little stick figures, you know, nothing really too exciting, but this sketchbook will get better here, I promise. But some of you guys like the gesture stuff. I quite like this one. Let me let my cat out of here real quick. It's another bad part about newsprint sketchbooks is that usually I have to use these little clips to kind of keep them in place. But anyway, that's a pretty decent gesture. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, we got some other gestures on the back. These are a little bit more structure oriented. I like these a lot, actually. These are pretty decent. I like her facial expression. You can kind of see, you know, these figures here on the bottom have their backs facing us. This one's kind of looking. This is kind of where it's all at for me lately. It's just really just kind of warming up and just really getting comfortable drawing the human figure. I like this little drawing here. This is like an extended gesture, I guess you could say. You know, based off of a quick gesture, but then I added more details on top of it. Let's see what we got over here. Got some more gestures here facing, again, facing away from us. It's good to, you know, practice different positions. Got some more gestures here with some structure indications. Nothing too exciting. Nothing too exciting on that page. Okay, so this is getting more into the anatomy. I've been taking the Stan Prokopenko course pretty much from start to finish, and I'm just recently beginning into the anatomy section, which is really cool. You know, this is just a little indication for the spine and the you know, the pelvis, spine, and rib cage area. Got some more, you know, little studies on this side. Almost looks like a little crash dummy or something, but it's really cool. It really helps you with the structure. You're not necessarily going to indicate these individual body structures every single time you do a figure drawing, but it's good just to kind of know the structure. Got this one up here, and these ones, of course, are, you know, flip the page. You can kind of see where those are going. And it's just really good to understand, you know, the pelvis is broken down into like a bowl. It's called, or a bucket or a bowl. I guess you could call it, I call it a bowl. But it's known as the bucket technique, I guess. These are just some more buckets and anatomy, little things. Nothing too exciting on this page. Just some gestures. Nothing super exciting. I like this gesture on this page. She's pretty voluptuous. That's got a good little, you know, motion and flow to it. It's got some decent structure. Let's see what else we got here. We got this little portrait here. You guys might have seen this on my Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. That Andrew Marlowe artist. I really like this. Kind of has like a vintage quality to it. I really like the motion of the hair. We'll zoom in a little bit on the face so you guys can see that a little bit. Really just focusing on the motion of hair. That's another thing that I struggle with, is just kind of getting the hair to be more you know, free flowing and stuff like that. Just some rough gestures on this page. Not particularly fond of any of these. Just some more gestures. These are kind of cool actually up here. I think that might have been a male model actually. Let's see what else. There's a gesture on the back, but we'll just stick with the one on the front here. I like this one. It's got a good little story to it being told. Still struggling with hands obviously, but other than that, fairly consistent. Some more gestures. Some more gestures. And then we have this one. I really like this one. This is more like a finished structural drawing based off of a gesture drawing, but I like the voluptuousness of her figure, you know, her legs there, and some of the, you know, facial expressions I think are pretty decent. It just has kind of a nice tone to it. Overall, I do think I should lower the camera just a wee bit so you guys can kind of see more of the drawing there. So there you have that one. Here's some more of those, you know, little anatomy bucket studies. They kind of look like little sad skeletons or something. Here's some more of those. And again, just going over it again and again and again. Here's the really simplified structure for the pelvis. It's kind of interesting. It's like a bucket with a little place shaved off in the front, kind of. Just kind of helps you with perspective a little bit. This is just me practicing the bucket technique. Now we're getting into actually the little bit of the bone structure of the pelvis. Kind of fell short with these studies. But it's helpful to kind of know them. This one's kind of cool. I like the way that one came out. You can definitely see the bone structure, but you can also see the roundness, the form. That's really important, you know. For the longest time I was always just drawing contour, you know, kind of just going like, you know, this, and just kind of, well, now I'm so used to gesture, I was just about to draw a gesture like this, you know, but I used to kind of just go more like this and kind of just draw the outline of every single thing, and that's okay for certain things, but you really want to be able to have the structure, you know, put in the structure of that body and kind of break it down to a square, break this down, you know, it really helps to be able to know shapes and that kind of thing. Got some more pelvis studies on the back there. Kind of cool. Just a little bucket study. Got some more. I actually did some horse sketches here. Very, very, very loose horse sketches, but you can kind of see the indication of the anatomy of the horse. That's something I need to focus on at least once a week, is just drawing animals that I like. Here's some more horse studies. This one's kind of cool. This page is actually a lot better. I like this one. This one is really nice. Horses are really, really fun to draw. They're really beautiful, and they're great for practicing anatomy too. I really like this one. So yeah, just a very diverse, you know, sketchbook. We've got some more horse studies here. I think, yeah, this almost looks like a deer. Just a little, very, very loose. This was kind of inspired by Fragonard, actually. He used to do these really beautiful loose sketches. It almost looks like scribbles. Just some motion exercises. You know, it looks like the diary of a madman or something. It really does. But that's kind of what's cool. I like showing, you know, this type of stuff. Some little gesture studies. This is a little, kind of a weird, creepy figure drawing, but I like the way how voluptuous she is. She was supposed to be like taking a sip of a drink or something. But overall, it doesn't quite read very well, but you can definitely see the structure there. She's very curvaceous and all that stuff, which is good. I really like this one on the back here. This one kind of makes me happy. There's no face, but I really like the hair. I like the moat. You can see that gesture. Really see. And I simplified it on the side to the bean. You know, so that's kind of what the bean is, with a little bit of structure laid on top of it. Here's a little, sort of a ghostly little sketch. It was sort of like a little head lay-in that I never finished. Kind of interesting. There's some Loomis heads on the back. Loomis heads are really, really good for practicing. If you're not familiar, check out the Loomis method. Again, Stan Prokopenko has a really good course on his website for all this, and I've really been trying to utilize a lot of this stuff. Some more Loomis heads here. Here we get into some skull studies. This almost looks like a Star Wars droid or something. I think I went a little too far out with that, but it's cool. I like it. It looks cool, you know what I mean? The hardest part of the skull for me is like the teeth. It just bugs me every time. It's really hard to draw teeth, but that's something else I really need to focus on as well. Some more, just another little skull study. It looks like a primitive man picture or something, you know, world's first skull or something. Here's just some little bean and structure exercises, some little cylinders, ellipses, shapes. We got a nice little cool anatomy study here, just really breaking the muscles down of the human form. So that's really fun to be able to, and anatomy is tough because you got to kind of, each time you draw something, you have to kind of remember what the anatomy is, and it's definitely not easy, but it's very rewarding. There's some more anatomy studies here, kind of a muscular woman. Kind of cool. Here's some robo beans. You know, we talked about the robo bean, breaking the human form into structures. Super cool, super helpful when you're trying to come up with things. Some more robo beans on the back, but we'll just skip that and jump to this figure study. It's kind of neat. Let's see here. Are we going in the right direction here? Yeah, okay. Some more figure studies on the back. Those are kind of cool. You know, really just trying to find the motion and the flow of all of this. It's got some nice action to it. Man, going on 13 minutes already. It's crazy. Alright, I think we're getting towards the tail end. This was based off of a little demo from Watts Atelier. I signed up for a couple of their classes as well. They've been super helpful. Really cool, sort of impressionistic, you know, sort of old school, you know, illustration type sketch technique. Before I show you that one, we'll jump to this one. This is another little Watts Atelier. I think Eric Gist was teaching this course. Super cool. This is the Riley method, breaking the human face down into different sections. It's kind of weird. I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks, but it does help you to find the eye sockets and the rhythms of the face. It's kind of based off of the rhythms of the face. But as a finished portrait, I don't think the Riley rhythm particularly reads very well. I think it's a little too robotic looking or something. But it's good to know. It's good to play around with. This is a loose little sketch I did of a beautiful painting from the 1800s. This one's, I like this. You know, you can see the influence from the Watts Atelier kind of just filling in the background there. Moving on to some more little Loomis heads I did here. I like this little guy here. I drew this completely out of my imagination, just to kind of test my head structure knowledge. And that's really cool to be able to just invent things. And that's the ultimate goal, is to eventually to be able to invent my own people. You know, I'll still use reference and stuff too, but it's really good to be able to, you know, kind of invent your own stuff. Got a little sideways skull sketch here. I didn't quite finish it, but you can see the structure is definitely there. It looks really cool. Got some more Loomis heads. I think I might have done these from imagination, or I might have used the 3D model from Proco. I can't remember. Here's another skull sketch. So you guys can definitely see the repetition that's involved in this over and over and over again. Here's a little anatomy study with kind of feminine lips put on top of it. Looks kind of creepy, but it looks kind of cool, and you can kind of see how everything is based off of something else. Then we got some more of these little guys here. Some more pelvis studies here. Kind of coming towards the end here. Just some little anatomy studies there. Trying to indicate the structure of the rib cage. It looks more like breast for some reason. So I got to work on that a little bit. Here's some little 3D motions of the torso. Again, it's a lot of information that you're trying to sort of convey as an artist, and it can be very like daunting. This is a structure figure drawing inspired by Watts Atelier. And again, I'm still trying to sort of come to terms with the way that they draw the chest. I still think it looks kind of weird, but it's kind of cool, you know. Practicing motion here, and I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for the sketchbook tour, and we'll see you guys in the next video.